Hello, my friends. Welcome back. I am here with a Melanie in the background.
Hello.
I thought we could do a little bit of standing for just a few minutes as we begin. In this comfortable, basic standing position, allow your shoulders to fall open along the sides of the body, your neck to release so that your shoulders are released. This whole space is decompressed. Allowing the weight to fall through your body to the ground. And while you stand, allow me to remind you that it's very useful to begin by doing a bit of massage on your shoulders, by putting some of that liniment on your neck and shoulders to help disentangle some of the poor circulation in that area. I wanted to also encourage people to emphasize the lengthening of their arms today. In one of the previous classes, I had mentioned that those devices that help to lengthen your neck, decompressing your neck, can often be helpful for people with chronic neck pain in the beginning until you learn to decompress your neck on your own. Another way that you can do that with your arms is by perhaps hanging onto the edge of a wall or onto a doorknob and very gently lengthening this joint, or having a friend very gently pulling on your arm to help decompress your shoulders and to lengthen this space outward. And as we lengthen this and make room for more space, it helps to create a less compressed structure. In fact, often I like to demonstrate using this little toy here. This is a device that uses an architectural concept called tensegrity. You'll notice that none of these solid sticks are touching each other. It's all held together with this elastic space. And people, for the most part, have their bodies completely compressed, like this. Everything's held together so nothing moves. But as we start to relax and the space expands, things are able to move around each other more easily. And there's this space in here is where circulation comes through. It's where this idea of qi movement comes through. And this is what we're trying to do with our neck. Stop the compression and start to allow things to expand. Up here is where your head expands. Out here is where your shoulder releases outward. And that creates a very different and much more healthy way to structure our body. And at first it has this tensegrity style expansion, and then over time this spaciousness starts to feel more fluid, more liquid. Very worthwhile to think about how we are releasing our neck and how we're decompressing our shoulders and what happens on the inside. And when you're ready, if you'd like to place your hands on top of your navel, making gentle circles. Both directions. The warmth of your palms soaking into that space behind your navel. Your awareness settling into that space as well. And then your hands sliding around to your lower back, gently warming your lower back. Massaging up and down, softening your glutes, warming and releasing any tension there. It can be very helpful. And then releasing your neck, softening to one side, the other. Remember to emphasize the lengthening, the expansion quality. Releasing the side of your jaw, lengthening all the way inside to the base of the ear. Moving at whatever pace feels like it softens the area the most. And then when you're finished, this gentle left and right, yin and yang movement, letting the weight flow down through into the ground. This exchange of empty and full through the whole body is one of the ways that we really help circulation quite a lot. So you want to make sure that you're not simply stiff, but you're really allowing one whole half of the body to be light and open and the other to sink. And the more we can do that with different sections of the body, the better circulation we will start to develop. And sliding up and down along the back. Snake opening and softening its sides, swaying left to right like a wave, lengthening through your spine, pouring the weight through one half of the body than the other. Let the other half be completely free and empty. And then, closing. So let's start freeing up the hips a bit. These gentle circles all the way around. You can place your hands on your hips the way I am. I'm just doing this to make it easier to see what I'm doing. You can also place your fingertips here in these soft spaces to help remind yourself to keep these tight areas of tissue soft, open, rather than clenched. Both directions. And then circles all the way around. Same thing, I can place my hands here to help me remember to keep this space at the side of my hips soft, not clenching my glutes to push my hips around. Both directions. And then your whole upper thoracic spine lengthening, softening around. Allowing your breath to be comfortable and soft. And then when you're ready, you can start small again if you like and change direction. You want to be especially gentle with your neck. The movement can be as small as you like. And at some point, looking down between your feet, softening the base of the neck, the middle of the neck, top of the neck near the skull. And then looking up, softening from the base of the throat all the way up to the base of the tongue, jaw, back down. When you look up, avoid clenching and closing the back of your neck. When you look down, don't close your throat. And when you're ready, closing. Let's do a bit of shoulder release. Full comfortable shoulder circles, 1 foot in front. The lead shoulder remains relatively stable so that you can close toward it and open away from it, allowing the entire shoulder complex to circle. Your palm facing forward, the palm turning back. However fast that you can move where you're still allowed to let go. For instance, at the bottom, oftentimes if you just go around the circle without pausing, you may never find if you let go or not and allow that lengthening to happen. Eventually you can do it all the way around the circle, both directions. But don't go faster than you can actually release. You can also go too slow and make it more difficult to relax. So find your perfect medium. Both sides when you're ready. Both directions. Remember, in the last few videos I've been talking about how when you shift your weight back, your lead leg softens forward. When you shift your weight forward, your rear leg and hip release back. And then double arms when you feel ready. Both directions. And then opposite side movement. Letting the weight pour down one leg and empty out of the other. So both sides eventually become empty. both directions. Closing when you're ready. So we can start making this forward circle with our neck. And then we can begin to roll our shoulders, take part in the motion. And slowly this wave extends down our body. And then again, closing. Making certain we're not gathering any tension in the neck or the shoulders, the chest, the upper back. All of it softens downward with your awareness into this space inside. If you notice your mind wandering away, very gently allow it to come back. Slowly making our mind more stable as well. And then we can begin to soften our neck, looking up and over. Remember to emphasize also the releasing of the front of the shoulder, the space around the collarbone, as we look back and down. Remember that as you turn your neck, you don't want to twist your neck until you run into blockage. You just continue lengthening, keeping everything soft and open as much as you can. We're not trying to stretch or have any kind of strong sensation. We're only softening. and then looking down and up and back. Continue opening that space in the front of the shoulder, around the collarbone. This angle is slightly different, and so you'll find that it reaches to a slightly different space. You want to soften around that space that you find. Closing. Releasing any tension around your neck. Constantly coming back to this middle dantian space, slowly allowing it to strengthen. And then that movement that I've been calling the tech neck position, hands together behind the head comfortably. You want to make sure that your elbows draw back and outward away from each other, and then your head draws back into your hands and lengthens. So remember, you're lengthening horizontally, and then you're lengthening vertically. Don't compress further that space at the top of the spine, lengthening away from it. And then outward. And slowly turning in. We just pause for a moment. Again, noticing this sense of length, at least from the shoulder to the elbow to the wrist to the fingertips. You might also notice that as your arms release further, that sense of lengthening might even reach past the shoulders. Maybe it reaches up to the base of the ear or up to the front of the collarbone where we were just discussing it, or deeper inside. The further in that this softness can reach, the better. And again, using the palms to gently turn the head. Passive rotation, keeping your shoulders soft. Not trying to stretch or create popping or cracking. Or just being kind. And then again, softening outward, lengthening down. Letting go of your arms so much that you feel the release down to the hands. And again, perhaps you can feel the sinking of your hands from the tops of your shoulders or the sides of your neck. See if you can release so much that as your hands sink, you feel it in the top of your spine or in your chest. Eventually, we soften and lengthen so much that we actually feel this softening all the way in our dantian, our middle, where this is reaching in and lengthening all the way through from the middle. And then when you're ready, again, hands on the backs of your head. And then Gently looking down and up. Just using the weight of the hands to strengthen those postural muscles in your neck. At this point, we're only doing 4. Don't overdo it. In another week, we'll add another repetition. And then again, softening outward and down. Don't do so many that you give yourself a more stiff neck. Just do them every day, slowly strengthening these deep postural muscles. And then again. This time, we're going to press with the palms up above the top of the head. Soften your shoulders, lengthening your neck upward. And then as your hands descend to the top of your head, crown of the head gently lengthens upward into the hands. Again, just 4 times or less if it makes you feel tender or sore. We just want to give a gentle, strengthening impetus for change in these tiny postural muscles that help our neck to lengthen upward. We just want it to feel like nothing. And then again, softening outward and down. Feeling that length from your fingertips to your shoulders, all the way to your spine. Maybe you find that your chest is being part of this softening long, or your upper back. And then that fun side-to-side movement, practicing it a little every day. For those of you that had difficulty with this and then you managed to develop the skill, send me a note or write it in the comment section, or maybe send me a little video of the movement. It's a really useful skill to develop. And then shaking your body out from your neck down to your feet. Wave travels down the body. Closing. Awareness sinking inside the body. Remember that for those of you that already engage with this middle dantian space, the space between the navel and the spine, we're not trying to do anything with it during this set other than to settle our attention there and gently nourish it. The only dantian that we're working with is the rotational dantian in the movements. If that's free for you, then you're going to keep that in movement. But this deeper one, until these all unify, this stays quiet and nourished. So then, one hand floating up the inside. lengthening your spine, softening your shoulders, your neck floats upward, and then you send that wave of softness down through the body. Make sure that you let go completely between each movement. Closing when you're done. Moving into black snake, twisting around the tree. A blend of all of these last several practices we've been doing. One hand gently moving to your lower back, the other hand on the back of your head. Looking behind you, opening your body to look up and back, opening the back of your body to look back and down, especially your lower back. And then, again, that soft wave of awareness down through the body. For black snake, if you can, let your awareness move down through your bones, that's even better. If you like to grab that opposite ear to help you turn, if that is okay on your shoulders, that's another way to increase the size of the movement. But only if it feels effortless and comfortable. Let's do some preparation for the white snake movement, starting with this lifting of the hands, dropping them down. Let your arms just be free. And then with one foot in front, wrists crossing, opening, the shoulder blades sliding down the back without leaning back or arching your back. Your chest lifts and opens, your chest sinks comfortably. As your hands come down, make sure that your chin doesn't jut forward, but the crown of your head releases even further upward. Remembering that recommendation about the hips. As you move back, it's as though the knee wants to stay forward. As you move forward, it's as though the hip wants to stay back. And then elbow lifting high enough to help your shoulders sink. But only lift your elbow as high as your shoulder is able to sink. If you notice your shoulder starting to creep up, then you've gone a little too far. All of this softens down. Over time, it starts to feel easy. Your chest settles, your chest opens. And when you're ready, slightly wider stance. Palms pushing out, palms moving away from each other, lengthening horizontally, letting the palms turn forward, the elbows sink down as the shoulder blades slide down your back. One more time on either side. Make sure that your lower back softens open in the back as your shoulder blades slide down. And closing when you're done. Noticing this new warmth and openness around the shoulders, the neck, the chest. Remember that if we consciously take note of these new openings and new positive changes in our body, then we are far more likely to retain these shifts, these transformations. It tends to be a habit instead that we only notice the negative things that are happening, the problems that are showing up. The problem with that is that where we put our awareness tends to grow. And so we want to notice these adjustments so that our system keeps those. White snake, in 1 foot in front. Remember the reminders about the hips. Combining all of those last few movements together. Shoulder blades sliding down the back, your chest rising and sinking. One side then the other. Just a few breaths of meditation. Mint tea. So let's do a little bit of preparation for golden snake, creating further opening in this area of the shoulders. We can start with this wonderful penguin movement here. Its full name is the Emperor Penguin Flying, Chasing the Dragon's Tail.
It's a pretty bold penguin.
As all penguins secretly are inside.
Did it mistake the tail for something else?
Full circles both directions. Remember that we're not drawing the elbows back behind us, but we're lengthening outward. And then tracing a path from our navel to our spine and softening around. Same thing here, that even as your hand moves behind you, if your waist stops moving and you have to start doing something straight into your shoulder or you arch your back, you've gone too far. You can just stop there and go around. Eventually your waist turns, your shoulder releases, and there's no impediment. You just go around the circle. When your hand reaches your spine, or as far back as it's going to go, make sure that you continue lengthening around, leading with your hand. Don't just turn there and then start to pull back with your shoulder. Let it go that way. That looks nice.
Yes.
And then, leading with the tiger's mouth. Shoulder sinks, your elbow goes away. Sinking down. Up and down. So it's as though your thumb is behind your head, but not because you draw your arm back or because you duck your head forward. This is just the direction of the shoulder blade releasing as your elbow goes outward. Leading with your hand. Closing. Back of the hand sliding down the side of the body. Soft and long. Let your arm go. Lifting up. Keep your shoulder quiet as it moves down the side of your body. palms turn up as your shoulder blades soften, chest opens, chest releases, both palms turn down. One side then the other. Remember that weight pours forward, the back hip wants to stay back, the weight shift back, the front knee wants to stay forward. Not because you push them there, but because you let them go. We'll talk a lot more about that during the 100-day series for the hips. Noticing that warmth and openness through your shoulders and neck, your chest and your upper back, and perhaps new warmth in your middle dantian. So let's try everybody's favorite, golden snake wrapping around a tree. Wider stance. One hand moving across the body. Open. Soften the front of your shoulder. Let your shoulder blades slide down your back as your hand goes up. Do you have enough room? Move some stuff. Over. Around. Shoulder stays soft. Your breath continues to feel easy. Then fingertips trace a path around your waist. Lead with the hand like we were practicing. And then soften over the head. Once you have the movement, just move at the pace that helps your neck and shoulders, your waist soften the most. Continue allowing your breath to be easy and comfortable. Let's do it one more time on either side, as long as that's comfortable for your body. Make this repetition the softest, the most open that you can possibly make it. Letting go. Pouring the weight from side to side. Remember that this movement is part of a Feng Song set. They're all wonderful for releasing your arms in this kind of release. Everything is just soft and fluid. Letting go deeply, all the way outward. Comfortable, your waist turns. Your breath is easy. And then, when you're ready, going all the way around. And then at the end of the movement, returning to deeply let go. And then again. And when you're ready, the opposite direction. Helping to create a wave of movement down the front of the body. Make sure that your shoulders slide down the back. Don't let them roll forward. And as your shoulder blades slide down, your chest sinks. Your elbows come toward each other, palms nearly touching. And of course, if you have more breast material than I do, you may want to make this wider if that's uncomfortable. Everyone's body is different. Closing when you're done. Let's make some circles with the neck. These backward direction circles. Allowing the whole wave to soften down the length of your body, all the way to the ground. And then a movement that opens the front of the body and then rounds and opens the back of the body. Make sure that you're especially emphasizing rounding and softening of the lower back, because for most people their backs are always like this. So having something that helps to round them out can be very, very helpful. And so, hands over your head, emphasizing not the collapsing of your back, but just the opening along the front of your body. And then as you round your body, soften your lower back, let your tailbone sink, your back softens, your neck lengthens. And then again, softening open the front of your body without collapsing your back. And then rounding the back of your body, lengthening the back of your spine without clenching in the front. Let's do that one more time. Wonderful. So now let's allow a movement that has our hands slide around. Again, gently, supporting the lower back, opening the front of the body, lengthening all the way up to the base of the chin. And then as we soften down the body, let the hips travel backward, spine stay long. And then when you're ready, hips travel forward, spine stays long, softening open the front of the body. Don't collapse your back. Only going as deeply into the movement as your hips are able to settle backward. Remember that you're not trying to stretch anything. Wait until your hands get around to the inside and start coming back up before your hips travel forward. Allowing your hands to lead the movement, even on the way down. Closing when you're ready. And then let's combine those last few movements into turtle drinking tea. Being very careful again about dropping your head too low if you have high blood pressure or you have nervousness around compressing your abdomen for any reason. it's okay to make the movement small. And then if your blood pressure feels awkward for a moment, of course you can just pause here before again sinking down. Let's just do this one 4 times. Each 10 days will slightly increase the number of repetitions. But you can always do more if it feels comfortable. And then your hands gently softening upward. Make sure that your shoulders release down. Your chest is soft. Your upper back is released all the way up. Gently lengthening upward. Your spine is soft and long. Releasing your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders. And then a wave of release and relief traveling down through your body. All the way through into the ground. Only go as far as feels comfortable. And then as though you gather up the earth, leading with the top of your head, releasing your legs so that you can stand up. Your spine is long. Drawing up that sense of warmth and vitality into your lower back, into that middle elixir feel. And then wait until you completely let go before doing the next one. One more time. Lengthening. And closing. Grab a bit more tea here. Settling into, again, this comfortable wuji position as you allow your arms to hang. Again, notice if there's that sense of lengthening. And that lengthening allows a kind of connection between the wrist and the elbow and the shoulder. Perhaps you notice that sense of length and connection further into the body, maybe through the collarbones or through the scapula. Eventually feeling deeper and deeper this relationship through release that happens with the hands. Allowing that sense of warmth to soak in around the eyes, behind your eyes. Releasing any tension in your face. Spending a little extra time warming that space at the base of the neck, below C7 there. Especially if you've been out in the wind or the cold. Letting go of the front of the shoulder. All of this place that you might often feel pulling your shoulder forward has to be relieved and allowed to open outward. Get to know your own body's tendencies, weaknesses, the things that really help you feel better. And then every time that we finish up these classes and we go through these little miniature massage routines, spend extra time in the areas that you need the most. Everyone is different. You have to get to know what the kind of medicine that is most helpful for you. And especially if you've gone through the self-massage routine, maybe even the 100 days set for that, you've become a bit of an expert on the movements to add for your practice. So make sure that you get to know them, and then your Qigong becomes that much more effective. Just hard enough to fill the channels and draw qi through the surface. Thank you very much. Any last things you'd recommend or like to mention to them?
More of that, please. That was great.
Isn't it a wonderful practice?
Yeah, I want to do it every day.
Every day. Every day. See you here tomorrow.